Oh, look at those feet.
He's
They're
like,
like,
oh
my God.
I know, you can't tell the picture of it.
I think you can push it up.
Oh,
Oh my
God. Hi, buddy.
Pet it?
I'll tell you the story.
He's coming out. Gotta give him room.
Yeah, you'll have to give him a little room because he doesn't want to stop where you guys are. Look step out here. Hi, Sammy.
Sorry. Oh, he's okay.
So can you apologize?
I didn't mean that. I just moved his face.
There you go. You can move
A
now.
little
In
respect, please.
1966,
His feet are
I
so
was 19
blobby.
years old.
He loves us.
1966, I was 19. And he was probably about 2. And I worked at the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago as a keeper at a rental house. And I knew somebody that had some baby Galapagos tortoises. And I couldn't resist getting one for myself. He was this big.
No, he was not.
He was. He was this big. Well, he was. He was.
Now is bigger than
He's a lot bigger than that.
Oh my God.
I brought him
We
home.
take a picture of you and send it to
I
you.
brought him
Yeah, well,
home.
I'm trying to
And
delete photos
there
because
were
it
4
keeps
children in the
running
house,
out.
and my little sister fell in love with him. Well, I'll get everybody's picture taken with him. Also, one of the things she really liked loves to be petted. Absolutely, yeah. You have to be careful.
Yeah, pet the
Well,
shell.
yeah, on the shelf, no, he can feel it too, but he likes to be petted on his neck. Now he's going to get your hands around you dirty because he loves that mud ball over there. But anyway, my little sister, who was 6 years old, she fell in love with this baby tortoise. It became her special pet. She would carry him around, she would talk to him, she would pet him, she would hand feed him. And the only problem was, in Chicago, he could only be outdoors like 3 months out of the year. So, and guess what? When he's this big, fine, no problem. 3 years later, he's this big. And my mother says to me, I don't care if it's your little sister's tortoise, you brought him home. You're going to have to find a solution to this. And I was in touch with some people out here in Southern California that had this California Turtle and Tortoise Society. And I wrote a letter to them. That's back when you didn't. That's how you communicated with everybody. and I got a letter from a woman in Torrance outside of Los Angeles. She says, well, I've got some Galapagos tortoises, and I would be happy to give Sam a good home. So in 1969, we sent Sam to California
How'd you send him there?
on an American Airlines flight. First class. No, he was great.
How big was he?
He was about this big, about 40 pounds. He wasn't too big. So anyway, and then my little sister, she corresponded with Lois for about 7 or 8 years. And it was just a great thing. Nobody in the house knew what she was writing. She was 10 or 12 years old, of course. And then we lost touch. We didn't know whatever happened to Sam or the Dixons who were taking care of him. And obviously they moved from Torrance. They moved someplace else. But we didn't know where. But about 3.5 years ago, I happened to be looking at a San Diego Turtle and Tortoise Society magazine newsletter type thing. And on the cover, there's a picture of a woman in Fallbrook, which is just east of here, with 2 big tortoises, and it's Lois Dixon, and one of them is Sam. 43 years later, the whole family came out and had a just don't let them step on your foot. That's the important thing. And I know you probably want something, or your leg for that matter.
He sees the cactus now.
No, actually he sees bright colors, and the cactus too. You're right. Matthew's got some. Yeah. Anybody wants to get in the picture there? I'll let you know.
I missed the first part. Like, how did he come to
It does make the house look
Like a turtle.
Got it.
Yeah. Did you get it?
Now, this is. You can actually put it. His front legs go in front. But his head completely inside. Disappear.
Oh my God.
Yeah, buddy, juicy. My turtle eats only romaine lettuce.
We took that picture first.
Yeah.
Oh man. Can I see him for a
Oh,
picture?
not with my hand stuck in there. It's like Marcy's the worst.
Now you notice he doesn't chew his food. He actually swallows it whole. You're going to watch it go down his neck. Matthew will show you how we get the last bite in him there. Wow. Look in your mouth, Sammy.
We texted you.
Open
Yeah,
wide.
So crazy how
He's going to want another one now.
What's your phone number?
646.
Organic, right?
Well, it is organic, yeah.
Yeah.
Right over there. Big cactus there.
Exactly.
033.
Sustainable. Sam, we appreciate it.
Oh, that was an awkward bite. Take that.
One of the interesting things about him coming here is the fact he's the only donation we've ever accepted to the garden with restrictions. Lois was only concerned about their long-term welfare. These tortoises can live. He's a little shy of 50 years. They can live over 200 years.
Wow.
So she knew she was going to have to find another home for Sam eventually. And it was kind of brought on kind of suddenly because she developed neuropathy and they had to sell her 2-story house in Fallbrook. And the other tortoise went to the San Diego Zoo. The other tortoise was never as friendly as Sam. Sam was clearly her favorite. And
Oh, you got a couple pieces right there.
he'll pick up those pieces on his own too later on too. He doesn't want anything to go to waste. But the zoo came and got the other tortoise. Of course, the zoo has all kinds of equipment for moving big animals. And I asked Lois, well, sis, Lois, how are we going to move Sam? The garden doesn't have any of that kind of equipment. She says, oh, it'll be easy. I says, well, what do you mean? I says, well, he'll do anything for bananas. And sure enough, he'd been in this corral in Fallbrook for 25 years, never outside of it. She opened the gate, she gave me a dozen bananas. I'm feeding his bananas, and he followed me right down the path, onto the horse trailer. We did the same thing in reverse. He never detoured from the path. He was just so in tune on eating bananas. Now, Lois probably did let him indulge himself a little bit too much with bananas. He's a little too fat. He's got a little bit too much jiggle over here. And he's actually been, he'll have been here this August. It'll be 2 years that he's here.
Go on walks.
And he does. Matthew takes him on walks. In fact, yesterday morning I was walking around here myself, and he'll follow you around. Follow you all around the enclosure. You don't have to put a leash on him.
No.
You can always find it.
Now we wouldn't want
really
we wouldn't
hard
want
if
him just
you're
turn him loose in the garden though, because you could tell he might be. Well, he'd make a pretty wide path in his own.
Eating his own
life. But see how he closes his eyes and everything goes into a trance. If anybody wants to get over here on this side of him for a photograph, that's probably good. And all the